Hello, I'm Amara Jones, and today is Tuesday, August 4th. This is Caffeine TV, your daily news brief, here to take you through 3 headline numbers in just 3 minutes, giving you a different take on everything from housing policy to the Real Housewives. The first number up today is 30, as in 30%. That's by how much President Obama announced yesterday that existing power plants must cut their carbon emissions by in 2030 as part of a historic plan to tackle climate change. He also announced that any future power plants must emit 50% less carbon than those currently existing, and he said that states have to come up with their own plans to address carbon emissions as well. Together, these new EPA rules, if implemented, will mark the largest effort by the United States to tackle the climate crisis ever. But not surprisingly, those in the fossil fuel industry have said that these rules, if implemented, will mean the end of the world. But in truth, scientists say that if they're not implemented, the end of the world will actually be brought about by too much carbon in the atmosphere. And also, not surprisingly, they are being joined, the fossil fuel industry, by members of Congress, such as Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who said he'll introduce legislation to block the implementation of these rules, saying that President Obama has mounted, quote, a war on coal, close quote, and that he is attempting to grind the industry, quote, into dust, close quote. Now, these comments together struck me as a little drag queen dramatic, which got me to thinking, what might Mitch McConnell's drag name be? Carbon dioxide? The next number up today is 56, as in 56 votes. That's how many a plan to defund Planned Parenthood received in the Senate yesterday, meaning that by the Senate's own rules that it failed by 4 votes to get what was necessary to actually block the funding of the historic women's health organization. Now, Planned Parenthood landed into hot water last month after a video, which is disturbing but edited and even potentially doctored, of a conversation between an anti-abortion activist posing as the head of a medical research organization and a representative of Planned Parenthood about the buying and selling of fetuses for medical research purposes garnered from abortions. Now, the sale of those fetuses by Planned Parenthood is not illegal, but doing so at a profit is. But throughout the video, the representative says that they are not doing so in order to make money, but anti-abortion activists are still using the video as a rallying point. But what's interesting is that Planned Parenthood serves mostly the working poor. In fact, 7 out of 10 of those that it provides services to are in rural and urban communities that are distressed, and more than 90% of the services that it provides are actually non-abortion services, things ranging from birth control to cancer screenings. But we're in a political season now, which means that things like facts don't matter. The last number up today is 58, as in $58 million. That was the size of an interest payment missed by the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico yesterday, which means that the overseas United States territory is now technically in default. Now, Puerto Rico's debt is actually $70 billion in total, which grew over time as the government had to provide more and more services as the economy faltered after 9/11 and then cratered after 2008, never coming back. But the roots of this crisis are actually in the colonial era relationship between the United States and Puerto Rico. It's neither independent nor a state, so it can't print its own money like it could do if it were an independent country, and it can't file for bankruptcy like it would do if it were a state. So it actually doesn't have the tools necessary to exit the crisis. But Puerto Rico is hoping that the United States Congress will change the rules to allow it to file for bankruptcy like a state. But honestly, if you've ever wanted to buy that retirement beachfront property for all the reasons right now, you might be able to do so in Puerto Rico.